They say weddings are meant to unite souls, but in some places, a wedding binds a living to the dead forever. The wedding invitation arrived without a sender's name, no address, no phone number, just a deep red envelope placed quietly outside the door, as if it had always been there. Rohit noticed it first. He assumed it was a prank, one of those dramatic wedding cards designed to look mysterious. The card was heavy, texture like old cloth instead of paper. Inside, the ink was black and uneven, as if written with something thicker than pen ink. You are invited to witness a sacred union. Venue, Depper Haveli. Date, tonight. No time, no family name, no groom's name. Only one thing stood out, the bride's name, Ananya. Rohit's breath tightened. That was his cousin's name, Ananya, who had disappeared 6 months ago on the night of her wedding. The police had closed the case. No body, no clues. The family was told to move on. But here it was, a wedding invitation dated tonight. Against his better judgment, Rohit gathered 4 friends, Vikram, Neha, Samir, and Pooja, and drove toward Depper, a village that barely existed on maps anymore. Locals avoided it. Taxi drivers refused to go beyond the main road. As they entered the village, the air changed. No lights, no voices, no movement. At the center stood the Haveli, massive, ancient, draped in decaying wedding lights that flickered as if breathing. Music echoed faintly. Wedding music. Inside, the Haveli was alive. Oil lamps lit themselves as they walked. Marigold garlands hung fresh, not dry. Guests sat everywhere, dressed in wedding attire, faces expressionless, eyes unblinking. Why is no one talking? Neha whispered. Samir reached out to tap a guest's shoulder. The man collapsed into ash. The music stopped. At the far end of the hall, the bride appeared. Ananya, dressed in red. Her jewelry was heavy, old-fashioned. Her eyes were dark, hollow, yet unmistakably hers. She smiled. "You came," she said. Her voice echoed unnaturally, layered with whispers. Rohit stepped forward, shaking. "Ananya, what is this place?" She tilted her head slowly. "My wedding. But you're dead." The lamps flared violently. "I died," she corrected calmly, after the wedding began. The guests began to move. Slowly, mechanically, the doors slammed shut. That was the beginning. As the night progressed, the Haveli revealed its truth. This wedding had been happening for decades. Every few years, a bride was chosen, married off into Depper Haveli by greedy families seeking wealth, status, or land. Each bride discovered too late that the groom never existed. The Haveli itself was a groom, and once the rituals began, they could never end. Ananya had tried to escape on her wedding night. She was dragged back by invisible hands. Her screams were absorbed by the walls. Her blood soaked into the foundation. She became part of the house. The mistress bride, now bound to repeat the ceremony forever. Each episode of the night revealed horrors. Vikram wandered into a side corridor and saw dozens of brides hanging from the ceiling, their veils fluttering despite no wind. They opened their eyes in unison. Neha entered a room filled with wedding gifts. Each box contained bones, skulls, or severed hands wrapped in silk. Samir was lured by laughter into the courtyard, where he saw his own wedding being performed with a faceless bride. He screamed. The house fed on fear. By midnight, the real ritual began. Ananya stood at the center, her smile gone. "I need replacements," she said softly. "The house is hungry." One by one, the friends were taken. Vikram was absorbed into a mirror, his reflection screaming long after his body vanished. Samir was buried alive beneath the wedding stage, his muffled cries blending with the music. Neha was dressed as a bride and forced to walk toward a fire that never extinguished. Rohit tried to escape with Pooja, but the Haveli reshaped itself endlessly. Every corridor led back to the mandip. At dawn, only Rohit remained. Ananya approached him. "You can leave," she said. He looked at her in disbelief. "Why?" She placed the wedding necklace into his hands. "Because someone must invite the next guests." Morning light broke. Rohit woke up on the road outside Depper. The Haveli was gone. In his pocket, a red wedding card. Blank. Weeks later, Rohit tried to forget, until one evening, he found a red envelope outside his door. Inside, "You are invited to witness a sacred union. Venue, Depper Haveli. Date tonight." This time, the bride's name was different, and Rohit understood the wedding never ends.